At my father's funeral, our lawyer whispered, "I'm confused. Your father already gave you the inheritance last year." The organ music was still echoing through the chapel as mourners passed by the coffin. But Mr. Alvarez, the attorney, had pulled me aside in the back pew, holding a manila folder with furrowed brows as he flipped through documents. I noticed my sister Isabella freeze mid-conversation with our aunt when she saw us talking. Her face went pale as she walked toward us with deliberate, heavy steps that made my stomach twist. Mr. Alvarez adjusted his glasses and pointed to a signature at the bottom of a legal document dated March 2024. "This is your signature, correct? Authorizing the liquidation of your father's entire estate valued at 847,000 euros. I stared at the handwriting. It looked exactly like mine, down to the way I crossed my T's and circled my Y's. But I had never seen that document in my life. Isabella reached us just as I asked to see the papers again. Her black dress whispered as she placed a hand on my shoulder, just like she had when we were kids. But this time her fingers trembled and she couldn't look me in the eye. "Mr. Alvarez, maybe we should discuss this later," she said in an oddly high voice. But he shook his head and continued explaining that the property had been divided into 3 equal payments of 282,333 euros, all deposited directly into my account while Dad was still alive. Shaking, I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. My heart sank. The deposits were there, huge sums I had somehow never noticed, hidden among payroll and rent payments. The funeral reception blurred into casseroles and condolences, but I sat in Dad's study combing through a year of statements. Isabella hovered nearby, nervously bringing me food I couldn't touch. That's when I discovered Dad's personal safe hidden behind his wall of diplomas. Isabella claimed she didn't know the combination, but when I tried Dad's birthday followed by Mom's, it clicked open. Inside were medical records showing Dad had been diagnosed with early-stage dementia 8 months earlier, letters from estate attorneys and one handwritten note that froze my blood. It was addressed to me. "If you're reading this, Isabella convinced me you needed money for a house. I signed the papers because she said you were too proud to ask. I hope I did the right thing." My hands shook. My sister had manipulated our dying father into liquidating everything. Isabella walked in and saw me holding the note. The look on her face told me the truth before she even opened her mouth. She broke down crying, not from grief but from panic. She confessed her husband Rafael had been unemployed for 18 months and 3 payments behind on their mortgage. He had forged my signature on the estate documents, convincing Dad I was the one in trouble. The 847,000 euros had gone straight into their joint account. They had already spent nearly 340,000 paying off their house and Rafael's gambling debts. I called the police from Dad's landline while Isabella begged me to think of her children and how this would destroy their family. But there was no turning back. Detective Morales arrived, photographed every document and arrested her for elder abuse, fraud, and forgery. The property was frozen under investigation. 6 months later, Isabella pleaded guilty to avoid trial. She was sentenced to 18 months in prison and ordered full restitution. Recovering what had been lost took years and thousands in legal fees, but the betrayal of my own sister will haunt me far longer.